another thrill-packed adventure with Star Trek Discovery. But this one required a little homework on my part, I think. I started watching it, and it's about, them going, for some reason they got to find, search for the Federation, but it's like, instead of, trying to contact Vulcan or Endor or something, no, we're going to go off to Trill, because our new little crewman, supposedly non-binary, yet they have no problem calling her she or referring to herself as she, so go figure. But decide they need to go to Trill and find out what's up with her symbiote and her not being able to access memories. Now, putting aside the Next Generation episode, The Host, where, we saw what happens when you put a Trill symbiote in a human with Riker. Things don't go well. They're humans lack a certain organ that the symbiote is attached to. Therefore, it's not a successful thing. So no, you cannot put a symbiote in a human, at least not by 24th century standards. But they're going back to Trill to talk to them and see what's going on. And for that, before we go any further here, I needed to refresh my memory of how we saw the Trill homeworld in this case, the Deep Space Nine episode, Season 3, Equilibrium, where Jadzia's having problems, and, sorry, spoiler warning for a 20 years episode, but, she turns out she had a previous host for about 6 months, Duran, who turned out to be a murderer. But he's also a gifted musician, and she starts getting this tune out of, thing, and violent outbursts and stuff like that, and so they have to go back to and discuss check with the Symbiosis Commission to find out what's going on. And they uncover the little secret that they like to keep, that only a very small percentage of the Trill population can be hosts. And turns out, no, actually 50% of the population can be hosts, and there aren't enough symbiotes to go around. So they make this little fiction of only a very select few, and they got to go through rigorous testing, because otherwise it'd be a run on the whole thing. There are not enough hosts to go around, or symbiotes to go around. They turn into commodities, it's like, hey, list your symbiote on eBay, something, so they have to maintain, and it's pretty much Cisco's demands for, you are going to help Jadzia, or I publicize this little tidbit, and bring your whole civilization down around your ears. So, they let Duran's memories reintegrate and everything else, and Jadzia manages to bounce out, and yada yada. And now Jadzia can play the piano. But, there's a real creepy thing in the later episode facets where you get to meet each individual host. And for Duran, they transfer into individual people so they can talk separately and not have the thing go in your head. Where Odo becomes Curzon for a while. But for Duran, there's a scene where Cisco takes Duran and they lock Cisco up in a security cell. And it is creepy. Hello, Jadzia. And it just starts up against the force field. But that's another thing. Okay, so having just watched that, to refamiliarize myself with, because something wasn't working right when Burnham and what's her face, Indira or whatever, they beam down, and it's like they beam down to a sort of a Buddhist monastery type thing with all kinds of gardens and whatever, and people in robes, and that didn't sound right. That didn't look right. So I had to go back and watch this DS9 episode. And now it's like, no, it's not right. And maybe 1,000 years they're starting to dress like Buddhist monks, but I'm going to start back again with the Discovery episode, and we'll be back in a bit here to compare and contrast.
One eternity later.
Alrighty, just finished up watching Discovery's return, arrival at Trill. Okay. I'll give them a couple of points. They did a nice job with the caves. And they apparently at least kind of scanned the episode Symbiosis in order to get the terminology, for the whatever, I'm forgetting what the exact word, but the the hormone that enables the Trill to communicate with the brain. However, on the DS9 episode, we got a real good look at a Trill facility. They're just as technological as a civilization as anybody else in the Federation. Okay, there was a huge facility in the thing, and we didn't get anything like that on this one. And no, not everyone was running around in robes and stuff. And again, the detail they missed. Only a few of our decimated population was decimated. Only a few are capable of being housed. Okay, one thing that was established in that episode is half of the Trill population are capable of hosting a symbiote. And there weren't enough symbiotes to go around. That's why the restrictions. Okay, I mentioned that in the lead up here. So right there, you kind of blew that one. But let's go on. Okay, so 1,000 years have gone by. So you know what would have made this little storyline about Dira trying to reconnect with her symbiote and get to unlock the memories of everyone else would have made the hell of a lot better. No, Michael Burnham. A few hours earlier, she hadn't even heard of a Trill symbiote. Suddenly, she's diving into the little ponds where these things happen, where they're dirty, ugly boots and clothes. One, no, just on that scale alone, this is bull. But the fact that she has to go in there and tell Adira how, no, it's a symbiote. I think let her figure this out for herself. Stop sticking Mikey Spock in there to solve every damn problem. That's why we fucking hate her ass, okay? Give the character herself a little credit here and actually trying to figure stuff out on her own. And also the whole thing about just suddenly not there. That's not how it works, okay? Because there's not this similar thing. And also make Adira a Trill. Because again, with the episode The Host, we established you cannot put a Trill symbiote in a human. It doesn't work. Riker almost died, okay, when they tried that. And it was just emergency. They had a Trillos on the way. They couldn't wait for that, so they had to do something. So it was just a stopgap. They knew it was a stopgap. But, yeah, just make Adira a host, a Trill in the first damn place. And just having trouble with a symbiote. That's not, unprecedented. Oh, that's fine. So you got to have some spots on the side of the makeup during the makeup. That doesn't take that long. Especially if you don't do what they did here and overcomplicate the spots. And when Westmore developed this whole thing, because originally in the post it was a typical big lumpy forehead, and they couldn't. They tried doing it with Terry Farrell. It looked like she'd been hit with a baseball bat before. No, they tried something else. So they did borrow a bit from. They basically swapped when Famke Janssen was on there as the perfect mate type of thing. I think it was the perfect mate's name.
Yeah, that was the name of the episode.
Yeah, and she had the spots. That's okay. We'll swap it around. Just say the different species of Trill. Okay, not everyone on this planet looks alike. It'll work. And it looks a lot. It looked a lot better. They went nuts trying to figure out what different spot patterns, but they went with that script. But when it was pretty elaborate, but it wasn't it was also pretty big spots, and only went up to the hairline. They got it going all the way in front and itty bitty little spots that took forever. I was like, they overcomplicate stuff they don't have to, and miss the crucial details. The history of this entire show has been them doing that. So yeah, make Adira Trill in the first damn place. You avoid a lot of this crap.
Yeah.
And leave Mikey Spock out of it completely. Have Adira solve this problem herself. Let her figure out the thing. And also the whole thing was no, just have everyone stand around while she's kind of spazzing out a bit of the things they're countering. But no, the whole thing is zooming in and Mikey has to go in and get her. No, bull. Just the boots alone would contaminate that pond and pretty much, because you have to maintain a proper, balance of the fluids in there, because the symbiotes live in there. And part of the thing was so that the other symbiotes that are floating around could make contact with her and straighten out the thing. Because that's not uncommon to what they did with Jadzia and trying to reconcile because when they bonded with Duran, the psycho killer, and had to integrate that. That's what that was all about. But Jadzia didn't go disappearing inside the thing. She got in and went to her shoulders. She had a vision of Duran and kind of great, but just something like that. She stays in there, have a deer just stand there and kind of whacking a little bit, but and then everyone else standing out there looking concerned when her eyes are turning normal or whatever, and she comes to. Okay, it's over. Come out, and then you do the little question thing. But this whole thing, having to stick Michael Burnham in there to make her a better Trill, is frankly insulting to Adira, what they're trying to do. And also, we meet our other, trans actor, who promptly gets killed. Yep, there we go, kill the gays, or whatever, while still scoring points on the Pokemon chart. We're gonna keep her coming back as a recurring hallucination now. Yeah, that's real uplifting.
Actually, the actor playing Gray is
a trans man is what it is. So
whereas Adira, the actor playing Adira, is just merely non-binary.
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure born a girl. Looking at the looking at the features, I think she's
But she's non-binary.
Yeah.
What it is.
Let me set this straight here right now, folks. I don't go for the pronoun game. Now, if you're actually going for a change, like Blair White, functioning as a female, then I'll refer to Blair White as she, and situations like that. I don't go for they there. They is a plural. Pick one, okay? This is the way nature works, guys. On human.
Sam Smith is using the binary.
Well, Sam Smith can kiss my ass, okay? I don't give a crap about Sam Smith right now, okay? But the way biology works here on the planet Earth, in reality, you got male, you got female, and then when you get them kind of in between there, you get some confusion. But it's not an entire new gender, okay? So a large part of it is you got male, you got female, pick one, all right? Even if you're somewhere, the middle section in between there, pick one to go with, all right? You don't get to invent your own terms. Language has rules. So, and of course, and the thing is, in the show, they're referring to Adira as a she. So because a rat's ass what she does in her private life, okay? The character is identified as she. Gray was identified as he. So there you go. So much for your, transgender breakthrough, guys, because you're still doing the male-female on screen and in the script. So no, you do not get Pokemon points for that. All right. Meanwhile, back on ship, the weird things with the computer. Detmer's finally given a chance to give a little bit of a meltdown, mainly because I think they finally figured out she's one of the few characters on there the audience actually likes and can actually act. And it was nice watching her, chew up, Stamets. It should be, you think everything works on you. I just kiss your ass. Yeah, we like Detmer.
Yeah, she's cool.
The only ones we can actually remember her name, for one thing. And the way that Saru seems to accept that, control's not gone, it's still in the computer, but now it wants to protect it. Oh, isn't that sweet? Maybe after all this crap, you didn't do a damn bit of good, did you? It's still in there. Oh, God. And of course, also think of overcomplicating for the more expensive option. Spend more of CBS's money. What the hell? Instead of set up a screen in the shuttle bay to show a movie, no, we're going to do a hologram, which costs a hell of a lot more to render. You probably added $50,000 to the cost of that shot. You could have just set up a screen, set a projector, and shown the damn movie. But no. This is the future. We got to do holograms. Everything's holograms. In the opening, we're talking to Trill. No, he could have put up a thing on the screen. It would have cost a hell of a lot less than having the den do the freaking hologram on the bridge. back before the show even premiered, I think. But I think this is all a case of unforced errors on the part of these morons. They screw up when they don't realize they're screwing up. I doubt they watched the entire episode of Symbiote. Why am I stuck at that headphones on? I don't think they watched all of Symbiote. I think they did a scan, looked for a couple of technical points in there, like they in that one into whatever indoor, one hormone for the thing. Which also, it's like you couldn't just do it with a tricorder. You got to put a little sparkly ball, so you have a little, crack thing, or something, or you had a little mouth. Give it. God, this is probably a case of where too much money is not a good thing for certain producers.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, CBS, you want to improve this show? Cut the budget. Cut it down to less than $1 million an episode. Make them write themselves out of this crap.
Get rid of half of those producers.
Get rid of. Like I said, can't you have associate producers, co-producers, 10 executive producers? What television show in the history of entire medium has had 10 executive producers? Of course, you know what's going on, because executive producer, they get paid more. What should be just a simple writing staff, they're all producers. Because they get bigger paychecks. They get a piece of the action afterwards. Writers, no, they get paid for the thing and maybe a residual. So CBS, you're being scammed. Just about as bad as the rest of the country is on this election going on right now. It's going to be going on until next month. You're being scammed big time by Kurtzman and his bunch of videos. Okay, they may be horrible writers, but they know how to play a shell game. And you're getting hosed. So yeah, you want to improve the quality of this project, or at least put Kurtzman and his bunch in sort of a put up or shut up thing. Cut the budget. Like you really want to do it? Cut them down below $1 million. Cut them down to unadjusted for inflation, $190,000 an episode. That's what the original series did. That show won awards. It was nominated for quite a few Emmys. Leonard Nimoy was nominated every year for Best Supporting Actor. I think Star Trek itself made it made a nomination too for Best Show. It never won anything, but at least it got nominated. The Next Generation didn't get nominated for Emmy until like the last year, and it's kind of a consolation prize for Best Show. It did win an Emmy early on for the costume design. At least Bill Feist got that before he died. But yeah, it was winning Hugos regularly back in the old days. Now it's only nominated because we need the slot. There's a Star Trek show, yeah, put it on there. It never wins. The Doctor Who or Star Wars or whatever. But yeah, chop the budget down to nothing. Make them write their way out. Put them at a point where they can't just CGI something and look pretty. You could have still done the Vision thing where she's seeing all this thing and have this tentacles and leave Mikey Spock the hell out of it. She had no business being in that scene in the first damn place. Again, it makes sense that at this point they wouldn't know what a trill is, or certainly not a trill symbiote. Because, even Next Gen, they really didn't know about it until they actually had to deal with it. They knew the trill, but they didn't know that there was a symbiote in there until they had to pull it out and stick it in Riker. But by that standard, how the hell do you get away with putting Mikey Spock in this thing? And suddenly she knows it's a symbiote. It's trying to get a hold of you. Go and fight against it. Bitch, get your dirty ass boots out of this pool. You have no business even being here right now. It's like the show will score like maybe a couple of points here and there, but then you got 50,000 over here saying it's still a stupid ass show. These people don't know what they're doing. They'll do the cliff notes on a reference thing, but miss the entire story. You get a couple. Okay, we got a picture of the case. Make the case look like this, and got the pools, and they go in there, and you kind of. Did you read the story? Watch the story at all? They kind of did this already. Like Jadzia had to integrate the memories of a host she didn't even know about, so they kind of already done this. And the Trill being downright almost xenophobic, frankly, at this point.
Wait, kid.
And the whole thing, they've also made it quite clear that if the symbiote is in danger, the symbiote comes first as far as Trill law goes. So yeah, they have apparently occasionally ripped a symbiote out of a host for the sake of the symbiote. So when they say, this has never happened, bullshit, it hasn't happened before. In fact, it kind of happened with that episode in DS9. When they realized they stuck a symbiote in someone who should not even be near a symbiote. So yeah, that's it. This show is getting just it can't get out of the stupid. It can't get out of its own way of being dumb. Whereas next week we find Federation headquarters, and it's not that it's not Starfleet they thought it was. How they got out that fear, then I don't know. But we'll figure out next week. So till then, PayPal, Patreon, yada 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 down below. And we'll get back to you later.